Hello and a beautiful afternoon to you out there. I am Nancy Banigo and this is Softline, and with me today I have the funkiest grandma. Even though today she's not so funky. She's not funky in today. I just had to make you laugh so that to ease the tension.
Good afternoon, viewers. Glad to be here once again with you. We are the Softline.
Yeah, Softline is. How have you been? I hope you're okay now. Yeah, we're sorry we had to start a little bit behind schedule. Yeah, it's raining cat and dog here. Seriously. All right, so funky grandma, do you have any?
I think it's straight now.
Okay. But then I saw this story of you remember that story we talked about, a guy who whose wife died in a hospital because during childbirth, because he could not deposit 500,000. Yeah, so someone provoked him. Someone said something that seemed quite insensitive to him, and he responded. So I didn't see the text of the guy. Dr. Abati from one of the sister stations, said to him that for a man whose wife is pregnant and he did not save up to that amount to use, for whatever emergency that could come up, that it is a height of irresponsibility, and when I saw the video, I knew that was very insensitive to say to someone who just lost his wife because he could not deposit. Yeah, and so the guy has responded to Dr. Abati saying, so it's now a crime to even be poor in Nigeria. That where is it that is stated that you must have 500,000 naira to deposit before your wife could deliver? All right, and then I know this case, this story happened in Lagos, and I know Lagos State somehow has some form of free child delivery programs like that. Yeah, scheme, exactly. So I don't know why the guy chose to to go to a private hospital and all that, but that's aside. Now let's talk about what Abati said, that if your wife is pregnant, you must save seriously. How?
For their hospital.
It's okay to save. You should save.
Okay,
yes.
But everyone cannot have that amount of money.
I mean, that money was too much now.
No, everyone cannot have it. So it's not compulsory that everyone that wants to visit that hospital must have 500,000. No,
for childbirth.
Yeah, Dr. Abbas, is he not in the private hospital? Is he not the doctor from the private?
No, he's not a doctor. He's a journalist.
Oh,
he was analyzing this story and then.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought he said he was a
No,
doctor.
no, he's not a doctor. He's a journalist.
Yeah.
But what people are saying, people are after Dr. Abati. People are responding that it is quite insensitive for him to say such a thing to a man who just lost his wife. And the man was saying, it is. I know I should have saved money, and he said all he had that day with him was just 100,000 naira, and the hospital said he should deposit that is not even the full amount. It's to deposit 500,000 naira, and he said he didn't have that. They should give him little time to go get the money, but they refused.
Yeah. And some other thing I got from that story was they mentioned another hospital that's about 40 minutes away from them.
Okay.
And they said when the hospital mentioned to the man with the pregnant woman that he should go to the hospital, the wife reacted while still being carried.
Now she cannot go there. It's too far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They still refuse.
I think
it's so unfortunate for such a comment.
I think what we should be hammering on is the fact that hospitals still reject patients because of money. I think that should be the major issue here, and not talking about how irresponsible a man is at this point.
It is not actually really nice, good for someone to hear. I don't know how many people are actually supporting that statement or that comment. It's everybody are not on the same platform. Everybody cannot have the same capacity to do whatever. The man actually saw, probably that's the only hustle that is closer to them, and he rushed into it and thinking, at least they can give my wife the first aid before.
Well, I hope Dr. Abati would come out to really apologize to this man, because I think it's quite insensitive. He could, even if the man was irresponsible, there are better ways to say it than coming on national TV to berate him that way.
No, you cannot judge him.
Yeah. Because he wasn't in the man's position. You were not in his pocket. You don't know what really happened before the time of this delivery. And so, anyway. But what does it mean to age well? And how can we support our mental health as we grow older? So joining us today is Dr. Mfon Ineme. He's a clinical psychologist with expertise in working with older adults who will explore the complexity of aging and mental health and discuss practical strategies for promoting well-being and resilience. Let's dive into this important conversation and discover how we can age with vitality and purpose. All right, Doctor, you're welcome to the show.
A pleasure.
Longest time.
Longest.
You're welcome.
This is one they got longest time.
Yeah. All right. So, Doctor, let's go straight into it, because we've lost a lot of time. Yeah. So we're talking about aging and mental health. Let's start by knowing some of those common mental health challenges people, older adults face, and how we can overcome them.
Okay. I think it's also good that we put some things in perspective as we start.
Okay.
Now, when we talk about aging, we talk about those from the ages of 65 and above.
Okay.
That's the classification. Those from 65 and above are the people that are considered aging.
But I don't want to look at that. Is not just age. How about from 40?
No.
They're not aging.
No. We learn. Well, let me get that point. No. You know, the actual classification is that between the ages, when a child is in the womb, it's called a fetus.
Okay.
Between the ages of 1 day and 2 years, it's called an infant. From 2 years to about 7 years, it's called a child.
Okay.
Then early adolescence starts from about 9, 10, 11. Then we proceed to full adolescence. Then we proceed to early adulthood. Okay. At about the age of 40, you should be in your adulthood. And then you proceed like that to late adulthood at about the age of 60, and then proceed to aging at about the age of 65.
Really?
Yeah, that's the classification. Now, but then I think obviously as we get into this discussion, it's also important to mention that, you know, there's this saying that the youthful age is a time of mistakes.
Youthful age, yeah.
Adulthood is time of struggle, and old age is time of regret. So now, when people get into these ages, that's from 65 and above, or some people actually, the features of aging start at about the age of 60 to some people. Okay. But chronologically, it is from the age of 65 that is known and accepted as those who are aging. Okay. I think maybe that's why most government will retire people at about that age. Some 60, some 65, depending on the policies of the organization. Okay. Now, at that age, one of the things we notice in psychology, which I think we should, there's a course we call a psychogerontology. Okay. Psychogerontology, that's a study of psychology, study of old age using psychological principles and methods. Oh. Yeah, I'm crafting one for the university as soon as I'm not through. Okay. Now, at that age, you notice that cognitive ability starts to go down. That's one major thing we notice. And that has a psychophysiological explanations. What happens is that the brain cells at that age may have started shrinking, to shrink a little, may have got drained, may have got dried up. Many things will happen to the cells in the brain. And so ability to think, to remember, starts to go down at that age. It's biological. Okay. Now, because of that, a few things will happen. Sometimes you talk to people at that age, they forget things you told them yesterday. It's very normal. They forget things they told them yesterday. They may even made a promise, and then they forgot they made that promise. Okay. And then they will also have issues of depression among them. Okay. We also have issues of bereavement among them. Somewhere along the line, at that age, somebody may lose a spouse. And a spouse that maybe they've related in the past 40 years. They've lived together in the past 40, 50 years. Some of them, you know, they become knitted together, mentally knitted together, emotionally knitted together. One of them just goes, because obviously one will go. Sometimes you notice that it may not be very long. After one goes, the other one follows. It's simply because they were knitted. It's simply because they were knitted, mentally, emotionally knitted. So at that point, they have. And then we also have issues of poverty. Comes in a little. Sometimes the economy of the individual has gone low. Apart from this, who maybe have got a steady source of income, but obviously, if you didn't have a steady source of income, maybe not a pensioner at that age. If the person were a private, personal, a self-employed person, the ability to work has gone low. The person is no longer earning as he used to earn. Too bad if the children are not there. Sometimes the children are wayward. I'm sorry to use that word here. I don't know how to put it better. And then, or sometimes they're not wayward, but they can't also take care of themselves enough to begin to take care of the aged parents. Or sometimes they may have lost the children. I know of a woman that lost the 4 children she had before. By that age, she has lost the 4. I met her with 4, 2 girls, 2 boys, and then she lost the 2 before she was 65. And then there was no one to marry her at that age again, and so on. Many things would have happened to the individual. Now, sleep level goes down too at that age. The sleep, normally, another should have slept for about 8 hours, but it's something you struggle with sleep at that age. You may not be able to sleep 8 hours, and it affects you. Now, ability to manage him at this point, we know that age is one thing that goes out, never comes down, but behavior may start going down. So they may start behaving again like children. Very difficult to manage them. You give them food, they say, I want to eat this, you try to provide. Before you finish preparing that one, he says, I don't like it, I don't want to eat the other one. You provide, you try like that. It could be something very annoying. And that explains why in Western world, they have what we call the home of the elderly. I've had the opportunity working there in Ibadan, the home of the elderly, where you carry your aged parent to go and drop. But that's very un-African anyway. I must confess at this point, it's very un-African that you carry your aged parent to go and say, okay, because you are now old, I will pay premium, I will pay a company to be taking care of you. In Africa, they'll cost you, they'll pray prayers for you. That I took care of you when you were young. Now that I'm old, you send me out of the house to go and be cared for by a total stranger. It's un-African.
We might finally arrive there.
We are going there, but you know, unfortunately, the white people that started it are looking for a way to undo it.
Yeah, they prefer the African method.
They prefer the African method. They're tired.
Aged parents.
They're tired because they've seen it. Loneliness coming, isolation comes in once you are there. Dropping your family, your mother, he feels isolated. No matter how the caregivers try to play around, you know, in such a place, you know, there are always games to play, things to watch, you know. They remember they have children. Our orientation in Africa is that your child will get for you at your old age. So trying to go, the white man thought it was a good way to do. They are now regretting. They now want to go back to the African way, where you stay with your parents no matter how old they are. Okay, we've had a very typical case of late that a man who they didn't have a child, they adopted a child 25 years ago. They brought the boy to the house, they handed over everything to the boy, and the boy inherited everything. And then he got married not quite long, and the boy at the age of 25, 26, and then the wife said, you can't stay with your father. The father must leave. So the boy now carried the father one Sunday evening and dumped in the home. And unfortunately, that was the same home the man picked him. The home has 2 sides. The elderly side and the orphanage for children. So, and it's managed by another man. So the man, when he dropped his father there, that Sunday evening, and wanted to drive off, the manager, the owner of the place, called him aside and told him, do you know that 25 years ago, the man you dropped here picked you up from this place. You are not his child. He has given you everything that you are today. He has made you what you are today. And you return him here after 25 years. The boy broke down and wept. He couldn't stand it. He now went back to the father and begged the father. The father said, I'm not following you. Go and stay with your wife.
All right, doctor. You know, before COVID, I was just pondering, you know, life expectancy, what is it about aging now and aging in the past? Because I still argue with that 65. I know I'm not supposed to argue, but then I still find it a bit confusing, because these days we see people even from age 45, 50, they are having dementia, they are forgetting things, So I wonder what will happen by the time they get to 60, 65, you know. So I feel like those things that were meant for 65 and up
It's coming down.
is coming down.
Coming down.
And then if you look at the life expectancy, especially in Nigeria, way back then in 1950s and all that, the life expectancy was quite shorter. But now we have people living quite many years, all right?
Is that the or people live longer that time than they live
No, I don't think, but statistics says people live longer now
than they live
than
then?
they lived then.
It could be, why not?
Yeah, and
It could be
so
possible.
many factors, point to that.
Okay.
People. I think when we were talking about it here some time ago,
Yeah.
where you see people in their 40s and 50s looking all young. Look at Funky Mama now, 60. But those days when you see someone who is 60. It's old. The person will be old and frail,
But then we also saw people were 80 that time who were still marrying new wives.
There were very few. There were very few.
And maybe the population was generally few too.
I know you will argue that. I know you will argue that. But so many factors point to that.
But yeah, because they one of the problems we have realized is the atmosphere is not accommodated. It's not life saving. Because of generators, because of fumes, because of the atmosphere is toxic. Quite unlike you live in the villages that you hardly see a car one day, you hardly see a vehicle one day.
Okay.
These people that live in town here, you notice that these fumes that come out of exhaust with generators, some compounds, you see 10 people living and each family has a generator, and when they steam, they on the 10 generators, heaven comes down. It's not easy. Everybody inhales the fumes.
Toxic.
And we know that the fume that come out there is a carbon monoxide, and it has a high affinity to hemoglobin in the blood, and so it takes life. But that's what we are subjecting ourselves to. Noise pollution, another thing that we subject ourselves to.
No. Talking about that noise pollution, gradually that is coming. Is moving aside because we're having other source of power. People do more of solar. So you see that can be ruled out now, and that is if it was killing so many people then, now it has reduced. But let me allow Funky Mama to come in.
People have the solar. Anyway, maybe we are going there gradually. We are going there.
Actually, Doctor, when you said 40 to
for about
1 to 40. The years of what?
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, I couldn't get
struggle.
it. Okay, the
adult
struggle.
struggle.
40 to 60. 40, please, I want you to.
Okay. I was saying 40 will be about adults, full adults, but late adults will come about 50, 60.
When you talked about from age 65, you talked about regrets or something.
Okay. No. What I said is that now the youthful age. Is the year of a period of mistakes.
Okay, yeah, that was what I wanted to get. Yes, a period of mistakes. It's time for struggling.
And then old age is time for regret.
Why? That's what you use. Yeah, that's what you use.
It's
that at adulthood of 65.
In most cases, people regret. When they look back at what they did, when they had opportunities that they cannot reverse today. Most of the political leaders in this country are living in that regret today. Even though they cover it up.
Yeah.
But if they are given opportunity, they will try to undo what they did. That's why some of them want to go back for second term, for third term. Just when military people want to go back as civilians to see whether they can undo
what they
did. Live in private, in secret regrets inside of them. Because they had the opportunities in their adulthood when they were struggling and youthful age. Some of them actually joined the army very early. They had opportunities and they abused those opportunities. They blew those opportunities off. And now they realize that they are at the 80, 70, 80 now, what they could have done. And they are not living with that. The thing is haunting them today. Some of them will now start writing books.
Yeah, they've started writing.
No, we understand psychology why these things happen. They're trying to see how to undo, how to deal with guilt. Try to deal with guilt of old age. Okay, what we call how do you call it in psychology now? Generativity. Generativity is a condition where you look at old age, you look back to say, what have I achieved? How many people have I taken care of? How many people have I not how many houses have I built, but how many people have I helped in life? Not just your biological children alone, but apart from biological children, how many people have I developed in life? Your mind goes back there. And you start thinking, probably the only people you have left in your life are only your children. And you close your eyes and mention 10 persons. You are a millionaire today. You had the opportunity, you've been a president of the country. You've had proper opportunity in the Senate, your opportunity as a governor. You're up to 80 now. Can you look back and say, come, single-handedly I've raised 10 men, 10 young men, 10 young women are becoming great in life today because of what I did. I'm the one. Not that, not the people you use as thugs. Not people you use as political supporters. And probably in some crooked manner, you've left into them, you've instilled into them crookedness. The people that you can say genuinely, I raised these ones. They've become great in life today because I raised them.
All right, doctor. I understand your point. But now let's talk about stigma. Do you see the
very important mental health and stigma?
Yeah,
Which is very common in Africa. Now, you know, at that age, because the people start behaving, dementia setting, they start forgetting, they don't remember some of the things, they start talking, some of them soliloquies, they start talking to self and so on. Before you know, they start calling them witches and wizards in Africa. They assign labels to them. And so life becomes horrible. Sometimes the people that could have helped them, their children and grandchildren, desert them. They struggle all alone. I know that at all age, some personality problem gets worse with increase in age.
okay.
Yeah, that's that problem. So like, so I'll give an example. Somebody who was a talkative talks more.
Oh.
Yeah, definitely talks more at old age. Talks more at old age.
Where does the energy come from? I thought there would be no energy
that
to...
At that point, she's not really doing much. She doesn't go to farm. She doesn't go. So the little energy that is reserved, the little energy that is used for
talking
into this. So that can be difficult to live with. Quite difficult to live with. And then the religion, the white man's religion, Christianity, and whatever religion may not also help matters. You know, they start suspecting your mother, start suspecting your grandmother. They start labeling them. They will start telling you that old man in your house is a witch. That, you know, so there's that stigma assigned to them that they're witches and wizards. When we tell them that maybe one of the grandchildren dies, they say, hey, how can she be alive and the grandchildren and the grandchild will die? But no.
He's using their blood to renew himself.
He's using their blood to renew. Oh, it's like, you know, it's over.
I've heard of it.
To renew. He's exchanging soul with them. He's talking about the place of this younger one. And I mean,
they continue to live.
And so they continue to but I know of a place, a section of this state now. I don't know whether they stop it. If a grandchild dies when the grandmother is alive, they'll kill the grandmother. Youths will kill the grandmother or grandfather.
They'll do what?
They'll kill the grandfather or the grandmother. If the grandchild dies while the grandmother is still alive, they'll kill that one. They kill, openly kill. It was that bad because at a point they were suspected that these children don't die alone, that they must have been killed. Must have been killed. Whereas some of them actually put their hands into some very dangerous things, very mean things that may have taken their lives after some time. But they wouldn't mind, they would attack the grandparents. Just because of it. And so it's like grey hairs have been associated with witchcraft.
Hey, see me see wahala. Where do you have it?
So like all of us are growing into becoming witches and wizards one day. All of us are growing into witchcraft. Because we have associated old age with witchcraft. And so there's that stigma assigned to it. Some people, when the religion that we do today, all that they do is a religion of suspicion. Christianity of suspicion. When they somebody is irresponsible. Even if the rain is coming, the rain falls, somebody causes the rain. The sun shines, somebody causes the
sun to shine too much.
You know, you kick your leg.
They've gone to give something, let the sun
they say
shine.
let the sun shine. They give something, let the rain.
So how do we start to create awareness, you know, to like mitigate some of this?
Some of these things. Yeah, I think what we're doing at ADBN TV is one of those things that to tell our people that old age is natural. Yeah. Like I talk about the issue of sleep. That your grandmother cannot sleep doesn't mean she's going for witchcraft meeting. You know? Yeah. The grandmother cannot sleep doesn't mean she's attending witchcraft meeting. Because that's what I noticed with some people here. I said here, that old age, with increase in age, sometimes sleep level comes down. It reduces. You can't sleep as much as you want to sleep, but you can't sleep as much. Appetite goes down. Cognitive ability goes down. Mood swings from depression to mania once in a while. Sometimes the person is happy, and the worst part of it is, let the person have regret in life. He looks back, he remembers the things he could have done that he has not been able to do, or the children that he trains in the hope, because in this gerontology thing, your number one pension in life are your children. The most reliable pension a woman has are your children. Those are the most reliable pension. Nigerians from Western time have bastardized the pension scheme. So the only pension you can rely on now are your children. And now sometimes at that old age, you look back, the children are not there for you. It will be quite devastating. Very devastating. And then the worst part is if any of them dies, you now have to pass through the 7 stages of bereavement, which is a big deal for an old woman and old man to go through. The 7 stages of bereavement. Before you can go through the 7 stages, sometimes you still don't accept that the child has died. You still live at denial, the first stage of bereavement, which is denial. You still deny that you should believe the son will come back one day. He will come back one day. He will come back one day. You live at that denial for too long. Next thing, appetite has gone. Next thing, brain cells, everything gets disturbed, and life gets shortened. And they say, hey, I said it now, because the son, he killed the son, the blood of the grandchild has now killed the woman. Well, whereas the one may be totally innocent of this problem, but just that maybe, like case I know, the child was a sickle cell child, and he died at about the age of 20, and they attributed it to a grandmother in the village. But the parents know that both of them are A's. They didn't tell the world that both of them are A's, and that the child that died was a sickle cell child. But they attributed to the grandmother in the village, who is totally innocent. They accepted with the community that is somebody that killed the child. Whereas 2 of them, the 2 father and the mother, they know. They marry each other. You are A's. Which one is A's? Why did you marry? Love was blind, deaf and dumb. So you now marry at that point.
But what about situations where is the reverse? Like what we're talking about now is like the opposite, negative aspect of all these negative intentions. What about the positive part that some people at old age
they enjoy?
Okay.
There are such cases.
Okay. Yeah.
It's not a function of how you raise the children, raise the home, how you lived your life too when you were young. Let me say a little with the men. Some men, when they are young, they marry 3, 4, 5 wives. They change wives. They have children from 20 women. At your old age, the multiple wife and multiple children thing will come down on you, will haunt you.
How so?
It will. Because children from different mothers, they will hardly agree for you. They will think he's your father. This one is your father. It's your father. Everybody calls you another person's father. I don't know whether you understand me.
Yeah, another person's father.
Is your father, go and take it. Is your father, go and take it. Is your father, go and take it. And the wife you married, maybe the first one you married, because you already treated her, she might have left you. You are now on your own with maybe the fifth wife who is not even staying with you again anyway. With the fifth wife is not even staying with you. And you have had 10 children from maybe 8 wives.
5, quoi?
Okay.
5 wives, 10 children.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's possible.
It's possible. At that point, you don't have a wife, you don't have any of the children with you.
But there's a way he's able to harness this whole thing to his own advantage, where he took good care of them, and they will all be there for him.
But do you know that some men cannot harness anything? They cannot even think towards that. They don't even think about it. They just feel it's my and move on.
When they are young, they live their lives. They forget this gerontology, they forget this old age thing. They forget that one day you are going to be becoming old, and that there'll come a time in life that you need somebody around you. And the person that could have been around you as a man could have been your wife. The closest person to a man's life could have been his wife, and vice versa. But if, like a case I witnessed the other time, a case that went to court for divorce, full divorce, the man was already 70 something, the wife was already 60 something, and they went to court at that age to separate, to divorce. I was wondering within me, these are grandparents.
Yeah,
What will happen
that's the
to
stage
them?
where they need each other the most. Okay,
And
so
you are now divorcing at the age of 70-something. What is in your mind? Well, they say they have got irreconcilable differences for so many years. But you manage yourself for so many years. Why don't you continue to manage? Why don't you continue to manage? So now the things we do at these ages with our spouses and our children have a way of impacting on us at old age. So we should be careful because, like I said, your children are your number one pension and gratuity.
We've been discussing aging and mental health, and we have Dr. Mfon here in the studio with us. And he has been doing justice to this topic, even though I don't totally agree with some of what he's saying, but then he's a specialist. So, all right, so let's take some few tweets before we go back to our guest. We have this tweet here, and it says, everything about working out and eating healthy is true. It slows down aging. It significantly improves mental health. Chronic condition improve. It is hard work, and it's not easy way by any means, but if you want it, it works. Doctor, are you listening? Yeah. Okay. And then this one from Jenny says, you're 20 years old thinking 40 is old. It's hilarious. As if you aren't aging yourself. I promise you, as long as you are taking care of yourself, health and mental wise, you will age gracefully. 40 is not old, but what do I know? I am an old or wherever there. Okay, this one from Frank says, working in one of the most easily assessed form of exercise. Okay, walking is one of the most easily assessed form of exercise with a profound impact on slowing aging. As researchers continue to learn more about the science of aging, walking constantly ranks high on the list of powerful tools to promote physical, mental, and emotional health. Doctor, do you agree with that?
Yeah, I agree with the very first one. That has to do with the diet, with nutrition. Okay, yeah, it's very important that we look at our nutrition when we are young. And then there are some food that are good for people depending on their ages. Maybe nutritionists may have to help us at that point. But you mind what you're taking, the drugs you take, hard drugs, substances that we take when you are young. Because there are some that you take when you are young, even if you stop them at adulthood, when you reach aging,
they'll begin to impact.
The effects. Some organs may have already been destroyed before you could now stop taking it. Or you may have been totally so addicted that you want to stop, you cannot stop again.
Okay, like hard drugs?
The hard drugs, But even the prescription drugs, like paracetamol and those things, you mind the way you take them now that you are young. Because your liver, your kidney are exposed to them. They go through those things now that you are young. And they impact on those vital organs when you are young. The effect may not be that strong, may not be that outstanding when you are young. But with increase in age, your immunity goes down. Yeah, at all age, your immunity goes down. Your organs begin to go down too. Even the throat, everything, your respiratory organs, everything begin to go down. So at that point, if you had some residue of things, they may now pop up. So you be careful with what you do.
When you are young. Yes. So many persons say, if you want to live a very good old life or old age, good one, you should mind the things you eat from your young age. From the young age. Because we see lots of parents, when they get to that age, they begin to fall sick. It's always
diabetes will come.
High blood pressure, all those things
will come. Then stress level.
Increase also.
I don't know what we'll do with stress for the
stress
is
worse than
now that we are young, you're running around, you're competing with the hand of the clock. We don't rest until the hand of the clock rests and so on. Now, it's good, you can meet up. But it's having some effect on your mental health. Having some effect, leaving some things on your health, mental health in particular. And so when you are old, the effect doesn't start to pop up because with that increase in age, immunity has gone down. They walk in reverse directions. Now it has gone down. And so you now find it that those things will pop up. You may start suspecting somebody to be responsible for what has happened to you now. That you were very healthy 2 years ago. Now what has suddenly happened? What has suddenly happened?
All right, so somebody's following you. Thank you, Mama. You want
to so how do you take care of yourself mentally? Maybe from age 40 or maybe trying to slow down age. How do you handle your mental health?
Mental health, mind the information you get into your brain.
Okay.
Select the information you have.
Okay.
Select the info. Select what you
listen to. Yeah.
Listen to good information. Number 2, what's your relationship with people who are close to you? Make sure you have a good and robust relationship with people around you. People from your family in particular. Family is important. Mind the way you relate with your wife and your children. Okay, you know that at age 2, let me mention this. The pride of a man and a woman will shift from the children to grandchildren.
Yeah.
I'm sure you know that. At age, your pleasure is in looking at your grandchildren. That's when you have the pleasure. So, where you take your pleasure from. So, you mind the way you deal with children so that they can allow their children to come to you. There's joy in having your children, the grandchildren. Sometimes they make you shout. That small shouting is also good.
Does it not increase BP?
No, that one is not the stress. You know that this boy is just playing. You know the child is playing. While you watch them, you run out with them, you shout with them a little. It helps you instead of all staying all alone, because sometimes your children may not be there again. Their children can come to you during holidays.
Okay, so it's good. We say that loudly. So playing with your children or running around with your grandchildren does not increase your blood pressure.
No, they wouldn't increase.
Okay.
Because
if you run and fall,
that's a different thing. That's a different thing.
Except,
okay,
I think it as a burden.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's a mindset
as a
now.
load. Yes.
See it
as joy.
As a joy, having them around you. No, it wouldn't increase. That's why it shouldn't increase, because what they're doing to you is not a stress. It's not,
I understand.
They don't consider stress. You just laugh at when they laugh. You may mind electronics and they don't break electronics and all of that, but the children are always children.
All right, so let's talk about intervention now and treatments that are effective for managing mental health.
One is nutrition, good nutrition.
Okay.
Appropriate age nutrition.
Okay.
At that age 2, exercise once in a while, but they don't have to go for big marathon at that age. They may just walking. I think one of the person made mention of
walking.
Just strolling once in a while is good. Now, look at the social network, the composition of the social network. Who are people that make up is a good therapy. Relate with people that can help you to come up, not people that will always give you bad information. Okay. Then also mind what you taking as substances, as drugs. Okay. Mind what you're taking as that. Now, where you feel you cannot, consult a psychologist. Under what we call psychogerontology, there are treatments that can be offered for old age. I've had to address some old people in Akwa State 1 or 2 times here. They are gathered and organized by one radio station, and then I met with them in Doctor's Mess. We talk about those things. They share their experiences. They can also belong to such groups. Okay, there are support groups. Yeah, I was coming to that. The place of support group is very necessary. But the one I don't fully support is the home of the elderly. But we have them already around. We have them already. As a part of us, as part of the training for clinical psychology, you must go to the home of the elderly. Yes, you must go there to work. As part before you can get the certificate, you must stay there. I work there in Ibadan. Okay, before you can be certified. But we don't have any in the States now. I've heard somebody mention that. Somebody is, whether they're planning. They will plan or something. But it's also what our government should look at. Because all of us are going, but from here I would have said, let's make the home in such a way that, fine, if the person does not have a child, can go there, we provide that support. But then let's train our children to be our support while we are alive. If the children are there, they should be there for you. They should be there for you. But I know that we also have cases now that the children travel almost, you have 6 children, all of them are abroad. Oh my God, heaven comes down on you. Because now they have to pay somebody to take care of you. And then this person that comes to take care of you may not be able to, may not be that diligent, may not be that patient with you. They may have to abuse you. They may have to. So, a case that I know close by, they have to be calling the children, this person you brought is teaching me. And then the children are not close by. This is the only person that accepts to come and stay with you. What do you do? We also need some orientation for persons who want to take on such responsibilities. In some other parts, in other climes, people who do such jobs are trained for them. You are trained in the act of tolerance. You are trained on how to tolerate, how to be patient, how to condone, how to manage these people. It's a training.
Talking about managing them, for instance, now you have these old persons around, like the one that you say, okay, who likes to talk during their young age, it becomes times 100 when they become. How do you manage such situations?
You have to manage.
You have to be available for them to talk to you, or
Yes,
sometimes you don't need to answer. You don't need to
answer
respond.
them, you don't also abuse them.
Yeah.
You don't
Okay.
abuse them. Make up your mind already that this is how they are. This is how this person is. And then also watch yourself that when you are old, you won't also be like that. You may also be like that when you are old. You may be surprised that when you grow old, you behave like that person you are blaming today. You yourself may be like that.
no, not me.
Not me.
Okay, not you, the other person.
You know, so we're trying to look at solution with the little time we have.
And so let's provide them, and then let's make psychologists available in such situations.
Okay.
I've had 1 or 2 cases where someone invited me to go and talk with his aged parents. Okay, we had a time to do some fun where I had time to prepare them, you know, to make them face the reality of their old ages. You know, some people regret growing old. Some people regret. That's why we keep renewing their ages. With this problem of old age, people keep renewing their ages, keep renewing, and then some will do some pancake and all of that
To cover the
reality. To cover the reality. But it doesn't work. Even if you tell the world you are 40 when you are 60, your body will tell you that you are 60.
Absolutely.
Your body will tell you you are 60 because the organs will tell you you are 60, your face, everything will tell you you are 60. And so let's try to do well when we are young, preparing for our old age. Number 2 is another thing is bring in the services of psychologists, and then medical doctors, other health workers may be of help. Okay. Giving them good medical attention would also help them to stay on. Then we should also avoid seeing them as witches and wizards, people that are punished by God. Okay. Old age should be fun. Yeah. It should be fun. It should be enjoying. It should be a point of time of enjoyment. It should not be seen as a cause, as though someone has committed a crime and God is punishing him by making him old. And some will say, hey, God is keeping him old to punish him. That's why he would have died. All his mates have died in this village. He's the only one that God is keeping to punish. So which means that death is now a preferred option. It's a better option than live old, than to live old.
You know, somebody once told me that the way he gets about his old age, because his children are no longer around with him, and he gets depressed at times. So the only way he gets around this is moving out, goes to events.
That's another good one.
A very important thing. And I think you don't have to lock in yourself.
Watch TV, your best program.
Watch things that happen. If you can read once in a while, if you can read once in a while, and then talk to people. Let people be around you. Okay, don't be repulsive. Don't be sending people away because you will need them no matter how much money you have. I think age money doesn't answer everything. I think age money, you need people more than money. So you make provisions for those things.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Ineme, for coming on the show today. But I don't know if you would like to give us a closing remark.
Yeah, a closing remark is that to say, please, let's make old age fun in Nigeria. Let's give attention to our aged parents and grandparents. Let's remove stigmas from them. Let's take away this stigma we have assigned, the labels we have assigned to our old parents. It's not a mistake living old. We shouldn't be seen as a sin or mistake living old. We should make it fun for them, knowing that all of us are growing to becoming old too. We shouldn't. All of us should not make our minds that we are going to become witches and wizards. Because the way we draw it's like all of us are making our minds. One day we'll also become witches and wizards.
Absolutely.
So, witches and wizards, they are going away. Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So,
because the whole place is changing.
Let's make the old age fun, please, for people who are going old. Then those who are young, make provisions for your old age. Make provisions now for your old age. It's not an emergency. Old age does not just happen suddenly. It's a gradual process. You have enough time to prepare for it. You have a long time to prepare for it. From the day you are born, from day one, you have enough time to prepare for your old age. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much.
We'll have to go.
Yeah, that's okay. It's beautiful.
So as we wrap up today's conversation on aging and mental health, we hope you've gained a deeper understanding of the complexity and opportunities that comes with growing older. Thank you and our guest, Dr. Mfon, for sharing his expertise and insight. Remember, aging is a natural part of life, and with the right support and strategy, we can promote mental health and well-being at every stage. So until next time, from all of us in the studios, bye-bye, and thanks for watching.
Bye.